This video is sponsored by DJI. About a year ago, DJI reached out to me and they said, we're going to be launching a new product line and we would like to invite you to be a part of the beta testing team for these products. And at first I kind of hesitated because I felt like, okay, no pressure here, right? But I did agree. And so they sent me the Power 1000, the pre-production model, and they said, use it, test it out, let us know everything that you can about it. And I had some meetings with the engineers, with the production team. It was a really interesting process, and I was flattered to be a part of it all. But now we have the final product, and I'm so excited to show you the brand new DJI Power 1000 and the Power 500. Now, like I said, I got to test out the Power 1000, and I got to be involved, and I'd like to think that some of the suggestions that I made are part of the final product. But the Power 500 also was introduced, and I got this one about a month ago. So I've been using this as I make my YouTube videos. I used it for a couple of real estate jobs. But I'll tell you right now, if you fly DJI drones and you are a content creator of any kind looking for a power station, this is the one to get. Not only because it's a great power station, but because of this right here. This is what makes it so great for DJI drone pilots. This cuts your charge time on your batteries by 50%, and less downtime means more flying time. And I think that is really, really cool. So let's head into the studio. I'm going to tell you all about these power stations. And when you're done watching this video, hopefully you'll have more information that will help you make a better buying decision. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So nice to have you here. And if you're here for the very first time, my name is Russ. Thanks for stopping by. So for those of you that have been with the channel for quite a while now, you probably know that in addition to drones, portable power is another topic of interest for me. Now, we have two of my favorite tech product lines from one company, and I'm so excited. So first of all, let's talk about the Power 1000. I've been using this for quite a while now, like I mentioned earlier, and it is everything that you would expect a DJI product to be. Exceptional quality of materials, fine-tuned design, and a level of usability that makes it valuable for so many different use cases. Now, this is a lithium ferrophosphate chemistry battery, which is becoming the standard these days just because of the longevity. You can use this thing every day from 100% down to 0% and then recharge it again for about 10 years before the total capacity diminishes to 70%. The Power 1000 measures 17.6 by 8.86 by 9.06 inches, and it weighs 28 pounds. So technically it is a portable power station, but I think its place is in the home as like a backup power solution, or maybe on a long road trip or something, or in your glamper to have as additional power. There's so many other things that you could use this for that I can't think of right now. One thing that I know I'm going to use the Power 1000 a lot for is here in my garden shed, because I don't have power in the shed, and when I want power, I have to run an extension cord from the house. That's about 300 foot of extension cord. So this is going to be so convenient. If I need light, if I'm doing some gardening and it's getting late out, I can just hook up my little utility light here to the Power 1000 and I have light. Also, if I want to do any kind of woodworking down here, and I have a few corded tools left, not too many. Most of my tools are cordless now, but I still have some corded ones. I can run any of my corded tools down here, my skill saw, my sawzall, all kinds of other things. So this is going to be really convenient for me to keep in my garden shed. I think this is really meant to stay where it's put. Yes, you can pick it up and carry it around with the carrying handles, but honestly, this thing is going to stay most of the time in one place. And that's why we have the Power 500, but we'll get to that in just a second. Now, one thing that they chose to do, and I love it, is that everything is accessible on the front of the unit. That is not the case with most other power stations on the market right now. Most other power stations have like the AC ports on one side and then some other ports on the other side, some things on the front, but everything is on the front with the DJI Power 1000. And the benefit of that is you don't have to worry about putting this up against the wall or putting anything against it that's going to block any of your ports. So taking a look at the layout, the Power 1000's power button is on the top right corner. And to turn it on, you simply hold it down for about 2 seconds until you hear that familiar DJI tone. On the left-hand side of the front of the unit, you'll find the AC ports and then the AC power button below them. Right next to that is the bright LCD panel, and then all of your important information is displayed on that LCD panel, including the remaining battery percentage, the amount of time remaining when you are charging or powering something, and the input and the output wattage. Next to that, you have the two 24-watt USB ports and the two massively powerful 140-watt USB-C ports. That is unheard of these days in portable power. With that kind of capability, you don't have to worry about using a high capacity power brick like this one right here. You can just plug in a compatible USB-C cable and you can charge just about anything super fast. Things like your MacBook Pro, your phone, another power bank maybe, drone batteries, you name it. But this right here, this is what is the most impressive thing about these new DJI Power Stations, the SDC ports. With an optional cable, you can charge a Mavic 3 Pro battery from 10 to 95% in just 32 minutes. If you were to use a 100-watt USB-C charger to charge that same battery, it would take right around 45 minutes. It's about 50% faster. Also, when you use the SDC port to charge those batteries, the LCD panel will display the exact percentage of the battery that you're charging. So having that feedback is very useful information. Now they also have SDC cables available for the Air 3, and you can charge one of those batteries from 10 to 95% in about 30 minutes. For professional users, there are cables that you can get for the Inspire 3 and the M30 series as well. So what that tells me is I kind of anticipate that we're going to see more cables added in the future for different drones, or at least I hope we're going to see that. So that's what truly sets the DJI Power Stations apart from all others. And I think it's great that they are targeting drone users specifically. It's useful for everyone, but especially for drone pilots. As far as capacity, the Power 1000 has a 1024 watt-hour capacity. Okay, so I just ran a quick, very rudimentary efficiency test on the Power 1000. So this is 1024 watt hours, right? But every power station on the market requires a certain amount of energy to run itself. So you're not going to get a 100% efficiency. An average efficiency on a power station when you're running high wattage appliances is right around 70%, 70 to 75%. Anything higher than that is good. So what I did is I hooked up two of my electric heaters, my space heaters, and I ran them on high, and it was averaging about 1680 watts. I set the timer, and so if I was going to get full 100% capacity, it should be able to run those two space heaters for about 36 and a half minutes. I got 29 minutes. And if I'm doing my math correctly, I'm going to put it up on the screen here if I say it incorrectly, but I believe that's right around 80% capacity efficiency. That's very, very good, especially when you're running high wattage appliances. Now, again, I know this is not scientific. I do not have an electricity monitor to actually figure out the exact watt hours, but that's the test that I did. And bottom line is, if you're going to run 1700 watts out of this thing for AC power, you're going to get about 29 minutes. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. That number is going to be higher if you run a lower wattage appliance out of it, but that's where we are. And it can power devices that need up to 2200 watts. There isn't anything that this could not power in my home. I tried a circular saw. I tried a 1500 watt space heater set to high. I tried my coffee maker, which is, I think, the highest wattage usage item in my house, other than my clothes dryer. Of course, this is going to power your clothes dryer, but I tried just about everything and nothing could challenge this. One thing in particular that I plan to use this for is when we go glamping. This can run my Traeger smoker anywhere. I hate smoking next to the camper because of all the smoke. So when I run my smoker, when we're out camping, I like to place it away from the campsite, like on a picnic table or maybe on the grass or something like that. And the Power 1000 will run that all day long, actually for almost 2 days if needed. So it takes about 220 watts for that igniter to get going on the Traeger Ranger, but once it reaches temperature, it only takes 22 watts to maintain it, just to run that fan. So that means that I could almost smoke with this setup right here for about 40 to 45 hours. Now, of course, I'm never gonna do that, but I know that with this setup right here, I could do an all-day smoke, like for a brisket, like 18 hours. definitely going to have enough power here to do that. So that's very, very cool. The Power 1000 can be fully charged from 0 in 70 minutes with AC power. Okay, I know they advertise 70 minutes to charge it from 0 to 100%, but I just ran a test and it only took 60 minutes, 1 hour to charge from 0 to 100%. And you can also choose to charge it more slowly, which will extend its battery life overall with this little toggle switch right here, and charge it at 600 watts. So a lot of people ask, why would you ever want to charge it slowly when you can charge it quickly at 1200 watts? But what it's going to do is it's going to reduce the longevity of the battery overall. So you're not going to get that full 4,000 cycles. So if you want to get the full 10-year use out of this thing, then you're going to flip that toggle over to 600 watts maximum input. And that's just going to help the longevity of the device. You can charge it in about 5 hours with the optional car charger. And of course, it can also be charged with solar power. The Power 1000 can take in up to 800 watts of solar if you use the optional adapter and both SDC ports. So each adapter can handle 3 panels. So you could theoretically have 6 panels hooked up to this thing up to 800 watts. So if you have enough panels, or if you have a big enough one, you can really put a lot of power into this thing. Okay, so my last test trying to charge the Power 1000 with solar power was in the middle of November. The sun was really low. It wasn't a great time to charge with solar where I live anyway. So right now I have all 3 panels hooked up and I'm getting about 220 watts of input. So I think it's a little better than it was in November. DJI does not have their own solar panels, but they do have these 120 watt panels from a third party that you can purchase on the DJI website. Another thing to note about the Power 1000 is that it is truly the most quiet of any portable power stations that I've ever used. And I have tested quite a few over the past 4 years. I'm going to be doing a comparison video with the DJI Power series to some other brands, so be sure to watch for that if you're stuck trying to decide what brand to get. Once I have that video completed and published, it'll pop up here on the screen, and also I'll put a link for it in the video description. Finally, I do want to mention the optional carrying bag that you can get for the Power 1000. It has 2 large pockets for storing things like cables and accessories, and it can be zipped open to allow access to all of your ports on the front. The sides also zip open for better airflow when you're using it, so you can actually use the Power 1000 while it's in the carrying case, and that is very convenient. Of course, the best thing about that bag is it makes carrying this 28-pound battery so much easier. So technically, this really isn't a portable power station, but when you use it with that bag, with that carrying handle, it does become more of a portable power station. Oh, and then one more thing I want to mention is the Power 1000 does have a standard 3-year warranty, which can be extended 2 additional years for a total of 5 by registering with the QR code in the package. So that's the Power 1000. It's a great unit. It's great for that home backup system and things like that. But now I want to talk about this thing. This thing is great. This is the Power 500, and it's the little brother to the Power 1000. And this is the unit to get if you fly DJI drones and you're looking for portable power. This is a 512 watt-hour power station that can power devices that require up to 1,000 watts. It's not going to be able to power as many things in your home as the Power 1000, but this is the ultimate truly portable power station for content creators and DJI drone users. It measures 12 by 8.15 by 7 inches, and it weighs just 16 pounds. It has this really convenient carrying handle on the back, so you can carry it just about anywhere. Again, everything is conveniently placed on the front of the unit. This has 2 AC plugins, 2 100 watt USB-C ports. It's got 2 24 watt USBs, and then 1 SDC port, and then the AC charge port on the bottom right. Just like the Power 1000, all of the information that you need to know is right on that bright LCD screen. One additional benefit, and this is really cool on the Power 500, is that you can charge it with the USB-C port. This is a bi-directional port, so that can be very convenient if, say, you forget your AC cable at home, or maybe you forget your solar panels and you're off-grid, or you prefer just to carry less equipment. It is the slowest way to charge, but it's there if you need it. You can charge the Power 500 in about 2.5 hours with a car charger, and it takes just 70 minutes to charge with AC power on the fast charge setting. This unit can handle up to 300 watts of solar input, and on a perfect day and you live on the equator, it would take about 1.5 to 2 hours to charge it that way. If you live where I live, near the Canadian border, it's going to take a little bit longer. Again, the fans on the Power 500 are barely noticeable, even when it's on a heavy load. Now, I don't want to spoil my comparison video coming, but the Power 500 is almost $100 cheaper than the leading power station in its class. And it charges your drone batteries way faster than anything you're going to find on the market right now. It is going to be really difficult to beat this thing. So if you're looking for portable power and you're on the go all the time, check out the Power 500. Now, what would I change on these two power stations if I could? For one, I think that any power backup solution needs to have a light on it. When the power goes out and you don't have your phone on you or some other way to light your way around the house or wherever you are, a power station needs a light. I think it is key, and every one of them should have it. Also, I think the Power 1000 could use an additional AC port. Just because this thing can handle so much, having the ability to plug in 3 devices would be really nice. On the Power 500, since we're talking about content creators and people on the go, a wireless charger on top would be very, very welcomed. Placing your phone on it and charging it anytime, anywhere without cables is very convenient. And I get it, it would make the price higher, but I think that people are willing to pay for that convenience, especially the kind of people that are going to be buying this unit. Lastly, having an app that would allow you to monitor and control these units would be very nice from anywhere in the world. Other brands have that, and I never thought that I would use that when that first came out, but I use it all the time. So I think DJI needs to have that in the future. I will have links for both the Power 1000 and the 500 in the video description. Let me know if you have any questions about it in the comments. Thank you again to DJI for sponsoring this video. Watch this video next, and also don't forget,